Welcome back to our show. Once again, my name is Mrs. Augustina Anyanwutina. Help me welcome my friend
glorynezemma. Welcome back to our sweet home, Africa. It's always a pleasure to have you as our viewers. So we're here again. And we have another topic. So our topic today is there is money in Africa.
Whoa!
Let's stop the West. I know a lot of people will turn around and they're like, what is she saying? There's money in Africa? Yes, we believe there's money in Africa. A lot of people have watched so many African movies. We have seen so many rich people in Africa. But there's, areas that we are really wasting our money, that is making life difficult for majority of people in Africa. So the few that have it are not using it wisely. Some of them, many of them are using it wisely, but some of them are not using it wisely. And it looks like everyone is suffering in the continent when there's money. So that's what my friend and I will look into. And then we'll, once again, like we usually do, we'll give you a little insight, and then we offer simple advice that we believe will help our people and the government. So go ahead, my friend.
Yes, I believe that there is money in Africa, and Africans are rich.
Of course.
If we can, know that we are rich. But the fact still remains that they feel, like you said, that have the money. Among them, some of them are not spending it in a way that the poor
can benefit from it. That's true.
So that being said, we are going to, offer a few advice, like my friend said, on areas we think we have to minimize our spending as to be able, and what can we do to make that money go around, to spread that wealth. So my friend, I think we have to look into adult birthday parties.
Okay.
Even the younger ones.
Actually, before we go in, let's list some of the areas that we're going to go in, so that at least our viewers will know where we're heading.
Okay.
All right. So we'll touch the birthday parties, because Africans love birthday parties, both the rich, the poor, the young, and the old. And then we'll look into the burial ceremonies. Burial ceremonies. Well, give you a little insight on what things that we know, things that we have experienced, and the ones that we have also had. And then we'll talk about car collection in Africa. We'll talk about house collection in Africa. And we'll talk about avenues that money could be used instead of building clubs, building hotels with little factory, little industry. So these are some of the areas that my friend and I will touch. So we'll start with birthday parties.
Go ahead, I'm fine. Go ahead.
All right, so we'll start with birthday parties and we'll get to other areas. All right, with birthday parties. I know when we were young in Africa, actually, we grew up in Africa. When we hear about birthdays, what we usually hear is more like children, like little ones having their, maybe first birthday, second birthday, even up to the age of 7. We don't hear it anymore. And then most of those birthday parties were like, maybe the family will buy a little cake, they will put a candle and then blow out the candle and tell the little girl or little boy to make a wish. That's what we knew birthday party used to be then. But unfortunately, I will use the word unfortunately, because we live in the Western world where people think that, everyone there, they are very rich. What we have seen is different from what we are hearing and what we have also seen in Africa. The birthdays that our people are doing almost like weekly, and these are not 5-year-olds. These are not 10-year-olds. These are not even 20-year-olds. You're talking about 75-year-olds, 85, 90.
Whoa.
they are celebrating their birthday party every week. And when I say birthday party, you would think that it's a small party. It's bigger than a wedding, and they are lavishing the money, while majority of people in Africa are poor. My dear friend, before I come back, I want you to, dive into that.
That's right. That's right. You said it. Doing birthdays, I love to celebrate my own birthday. Yearly or every 2 years. But the fact remains, how are you doing it? The wasting part of it, wasting the wealth, eating and drinking, and majority of those food go in the garbage, is what we are talking about. So she mentioned wedding. Yes, we call it an entertainment, the money for entertainment. So birthday parties, marriage, celebrating weddings. So that's what we are looking into, because here where we are, all these are movie stars. Some of them, when they want to celebrate theirs, they can take 5 or 6 people. Some of them even go to, even the wedding, they go to Bermuda or any other place to celebrate within that family, because they look at it like the wasting of money is not wedding. The wedding is when you say I do. So every other thing is entertainment. That being said, so if we can cut down on the lavish lifestyle in the name of celebration of birthdays, there's nothing wrong remembering the day you was born, but the excessiveness, that the extra mile we go because we think we have money today. So on doing that, we look at it, the so-called the poor, the so-called people that we clean up for you, do this for you, do that for you. What are you doing to help them, to pull them up? Because we say nobody knows tomorrow. That's exactly what we're talking about. Because if we put that money into work, into establishing things like industries,
that's true.
Instead of waiting on the government do the government this, the government that, individuals can help. So if we start looking into that, where do this money go? When people eat today, next year, everybody is coming for the same thing and you're buying food. 9 out of 10 times, you're just helping them for one day. And sometimes those poor people are not there to eat. It's still the same rich people that will come and eat. Maybe the crumbs. You call them that are the housekeepers or your gardeners, or those that are, the gatekeepers. So that's when they will have chance to come out and clean up, maybe eat out the crumbs. So Africans, let's look into how we are spending the wealth God give us.
Thank you so much, my friend, because I love everything that you said. But let me go a little bit deeper, because I don't know if many of you have watched birthday parties in most African countries, especially Nigeria. We're from Nigeria, so we can, talk about other countries without mentioning our own country. I mean, even when we talk about the government, this week you will hear the commissioner will have a birthday party. He will have another one next week for his wife. The governor will have a birthday party. The next week is for his wife. And the other week is for his cousin. I mean, look at it. Many of you travel out. You go to the Western world. Even, where we are. When Obama was even the president of the United States, I didn't even hear them celebrating like, this is Obama's birthday party, this is his wife's birthday party, and they're doing this. And you're talking about lavish party. Our older people in Africa, stop celebrating your birthdays. I'm sorry to put it back this way.
They have done enough,
You're old. You are very old. That is not supposed to be annual ceremony. You could just take your wife and your children. You go to a restaurant and eat. Go to church and thank God for another year that He has added to your life. Leave the birthday parties for 7-year-olds, little babies. So, because the money that you're wasting, you can use it to do so many things. Many of you are crying that they use, looting everywhere, destroying things in the country, because they're watching you lavishing money in these birthday parties. Every day, one day is your wife, the next day is your wife's friend, the next day is this. It's not, and the amount of money, you're talking about millions.
That's right.
That they're spending. And these are people's money, because if it is your money, if you worked hard for that money, I don't think you will spend it like that. It's not your money. Especially the ones in the government. These are the ones that we see almost every week doing birthday parties and birthday parties and birthday parties. I mean, sometimes they hire like 20 restaurants to bring different food. I mean, what you are wasting people's money. We have so much to do in Africa. I mean, you're crying that that's insecurity of life. But when you create the insecurity, you don't go back and start complaining about it because you're creating it by these lavish parties that you're doing. Use the money and use it to build industries. Like we said, factories. You can build shoe industry. You can build anything, any type of industry that you want to build that will yield money. And then at the same time, create employment for people. So stop these birthday parties because you're too old for that. All right? People love you. So like I said, they can just call you on the phone, wish you happy birthday. You take your wife, take your children to a restaurant. That's what they do in the Western world. Because we envy them and we keep on complaining, oh, there's no money in Africa. They're rich in the Western world. It's how they spend their own money that makes them rich. So let's look into it. All right, I think we have enough.
I think we said enough for this birthday party.
So let's go to the burial ceremonies.
Oh, wow.
Burial ceremonies, burial ceremonies. I'll let you start with the burial ceremonies.
You know, it's sad when somebody lost a loved one, and most of us, especially if we didn't take care of, let's say if it's our parent, we didn't do much for them when they were alive. We were busy doing other things, thinking about tomorrow, we do this and that. Some of us feel guilty. So as a result, when you hear the word they're dead, now you will be in a shock. Oh, I said when I finish. And remember, nobody ever finished. And then for you to compensate what you would have done for them. Some of you will say, oh, now we start building a house. And then you take your mother and put in a mortuary. Or take your father and put in a mortuary. And start building a house that she never lived while she was alive. So to me, that's a waste there. Because after you build a house, once she or he is buried, you don't live there. So that's a way you wasted that money. And then I'm not going to talk about the food again, because you know once you're building a house, the entertainment will be like so huge that eventually you're inviting people come and eat. So the question, what are you celebrating now that your mother is dead? You're celebrating her death by wasting the money. Like my friend, I think we mentioned that before. You can give it to some kind of charity, whatever your mother liked to do or loved to do, or your father. So give it to charity, donate something in the church, so that when they see that, that will live there forever. That will be there in memory of your mother or in memory of your father. The people you fed, when they're going out, some of them, because they're drunk, they get into accident because you overfed them. Now somebody is dead. Sometimes they stay there, they're throwing up in your yard. It doesn't make any sense. So celebrate, bury your mother, bury your father, bury your loved one, to an extent that their memory will linger. Because when people eat and drink, tomorrow they forget because they go into another place. So all those money we waste trying to impress people, trying to now show our wealth, trying to build a house that only the bugs will live in because your mother is dead. So it's just to stay there for a few minutes, your mother stay there, you bring your mother, and your mother or your father will be there, then you go and bury them. So it's a waste of fund. It's a waste of money. Put that money in something. You can still build a factory with it and call it your mother's name. That will be the name of your mother or your father that is there. So over here we have names of people and things, and they no longer exist. They're no longer here with us. So that your mother's name will be forever, or your father's name, or anybody that you love or cherish so much. So my friend,
thank you so much. I was actually listening to you when you were talking, and what came to my mind is this. You see, the ceremony that Africans do when people die, you tend to think, I mean, are they happy that the person died? because I know you spend so much money in wedding, which is beautiful because it's a happy occasion. But when it's such a sad occasion and they waste so much money, so they're happy that their mother died, they're happy that because when you're happy, you spend more.
I don't know what they celebrated, but it's a celebration now when somebody died.
Okay.
So it's a celebration now.
All right, but unfortunately, what you're doing is wasting the money. Once again, what we say, we Africans, we love to copy. In the Western world, what they do, when people die, they go to the funeral home. Even the richest person go to the funeral home. They will do a service there. Within a few minutes, they will bury the body, and that's the end of it. And they have like a little reception in a restaurant.
The rappers.
That's what they do. So when you look at it, maybe they spent, let's use dollar. Maybe they spent $1,000 to bury their dead. In Africa, if it is dollar equivalent, Africans will spend like $20,000, $30,000 to bury someone. What good is it? The person is dead, number one. If you love your father so much, and you're sure you're not just showing off, and you love your mother so much, I think maybe when you were young, you knew what your mother wanted to do in life. You know what, had it been that they had money, this is what your mother would have done. This is what your father would have done. So if you love them so much, why don't you bring out that legacy? That thing that they wanted to do in life, but they did not get the chance to do it. Let's say if they wanted to build a hospital or they wanted to build a school, you can channel that money, just like my friend said, and then build a small clinic in your town or build a small school in your town and then call it your mother's name. I think even if your mother is in heaven or if your father is in heaven, they will appreciate it more than the money that you're throwing all over the place. And then we talked about the cows. I mean, depending on which part of Africa that you're from. Once again, like if it is in Nigeria, they will buy 50 cows and everything just to bury a human being. I mean, I don't think the human being that is dead is asking you to do that. You're just doing it to show off to your friends that this is the wealth that I have. I'm just flashing it.
Right.
But once again, we complain because why are we doing this? We're crying for the youths. People keep on complaining. The youths are doing this. The youths are destroying it. But you are making the youths do what they do. Because when you're flashing money like that and you're throwing things all over the place, the impression that you're creating to the youths is that you're telling them, go and get cash. If you kill somebody, if you rob somebody, get cash so that when your mother dies, you throw money like that. And that's why the youths are doing what they're doing. So channel your money into a good avenue. That's what the Westerners do, and that's why their area, I mean, their home and everywhere, they look like they're developed. But no one is going to develop your place but you.
That's right.
So if you're throwing the money like that, and it looks like you don't have, people keep on saying there's no money in Africa, there's no money in Africa. I tell them, poor people cannot do burial ceremony like that. And they cannot do birthdays like that. So that means there's money in Africa.
That's right.
The only thing is that we're putting it in the wrong sources. Exactly.
Yes.
So please, once again, with the burial, before we round up the burial and go to another topic, with the burial, please use that money like we see. I mean, I have watched some of the burials, like you see it on social media. You see the limousine carrying the body, and they're going to bury the body, but there's potholes, there's dirt all over the road, and then they will drive that limousine all the way to the mansion, and everywhere it's in shambles, even the roof. The neighborhood, everywhere, I mean, the roofs are all rusted. If you love your mother so much or love your father so much, the money that you're spreading or you're using for this lavish ceremony, pack it together. Go to your village. Buy bundles of zinc. If you buy 10 bundles of zinc, you can re-roof all those rusted roofs that you have in your village. I am telling you, the villagers will love you more. Even your friends that you brought from the city to cheer you up, they will admire you more. The world will talk about you, of the kindness that you showed to the public when your mother died, instead of the lavish ceremony that is unnecessary. My dear friend.
My dear, while we are still on burial, that comes with other things. The long stay in the mortuary. So a whole lot of people, once your loved one is dead, why don't you let them rest? You put them in the mortuary. The mortuary, you know, when you even go there to take a look what is going on.
You're
just like a freezer.
They're suffering.
It's just like a freezer.
You put them like a fish.
Yeah. Please. Bury your loved one on time.
Exactly.
And then if you want to do memorial services for up to 10 years, you can still do it. Every year you can then do something. But let your mother or your father that is dead or your loved one, bury them on time. Don't put them there 3 months, 4 months, all the way until you finish building a house, until you get money. Where are you going to get money? You don't have it when they were alive. Now they're dead, you want to go get money. From where? So please. And another thing I want to mention is let's say if it's a family of the female. Mm-hmm. So most of the time, the elders in that compound are waiting maybe to start building their own house once their loved one, their sister or their cousin or their died. Mm-hmm. So when you go to your maternal home to let them know that you lost your mother, some of you don't know if they're crying or they're happy, because they are going to give you a list of the things to do for them, instead of them giving you some money to help to bury your mother or give you some money to sustain you guys that lost your parent. But rather, they just want to give you another list to do this, give them a cow, give them a goat, buy wrapper, come and give them a drink in order for you to bury your loved one. All those things too, to me, I look at it as wasting of money. Find something for them to do for you when your own sister is still alive, so that she will be a participant on what the children are doing for you, not when she is dead. So my dear,
I like what you said. Actually, I love when you say cow. So that means they're using the dead bodies as money
to sell from money from the children.
It becomes a money cow. Mm-hmm. And actually, you were saying, why do they keep them in the mortuary? What came to my mind is this: they keep them in the mortuary so that they can run around and get things ready to impress their friends. Because let me tell you, depending on which part of Africa you're from, there's some areas that maybe they didn't even build a house. Some people, they live in the city, and then they have friends in the city, and they are showing off to their friends, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. So when their mother dies, what they do is this: they run like a rabbit.
Remember, they don't have a house.
They run like a rabbit, and they run all the way to the village, and they start grading the roads. They start fixing the houses. They start painting it to create impression, so that when the friends from the city come, they will be like, "Oh my God, she's rich, he's rich." So that's why they keep them like fish in the fridge. I leave them in the mortuary for a long time so that they can create false impression to the public. Mm-hmm. Once again, I don't think your mother would like to be in the fridge for a long time. And I don't think your father would like to be in the fridge for a long time. Mm-mm. If you love them, please bury them as soon as you can. They're gone. They're not going to get up anymore. So there's no point trying to create a false impression. And let me tell you what I understood from this. Okay. People think that when they do this, that people are like, you just want to impress people, like I said. I mean, they think that people are watching them to see how much. But what I've realized is this. I'll just use myself as an example. Once again, I think I said it in one of our shows. Mm-hmm. When my mother died, I did a very simple ceremony. That was almost more than 10 years ago. It was just very simple. I didn't have that much, and I didn't even plan to spend that much. I was sad because I lost my mother.
That's right.
And I'm telling you, up to today that I'm talking to you, no one from my town, no one from my village or anywhere have come to me and say, "How come you didn't spend money when your mother died?" Nobody have asked me that. So I'm just trying to tell you that what you're doing, you're trying to just show off. Mm-hmm. Nobody is even worried. Even if you buy like just 2 or 3 crates of mineral to give them, depending on which part of Africa that you're from. Even if you have like little meat to feed the people that came to, to pay condolence visit to you, I don't think anybody will come to you and say, "Why did you do that?" No one have asked me up to today that I'm talking to you. So these are just false impression that we're creating and causing more problem.
That's right.
All right, my friend.
I think we've
had enough of the burial.
Enough of burial.
All right, so let's see where else Africans are spending their money. Let's just once again remind you of our topic. We said there's money in Africa, but we have to stop the West. Mm-hmm. Okay, so our next thing that we need to discuss is car collection. Car collection. I'm not. A lot of people would like to watch African movies. They love musicians, and a lot of African musicians are super rich. I have to let you know, and we appreciate them so much because we love their music. My friend and I would dance to their music every day, and we will see how super rich they are. But what we have understood is that most of these musicians don't have businesses, which makes it difficult even when they, after a while, when they stop singing. So they use it to buy cars, and we call it car collection because when you buy more than 2 cars, one for your wife, one for you, and then the other ones are just collection that you leave in the garage. They buy Lamborghini. They buy the most expensive cars in the whole world.
Tesla.
But I'm telling you, but their counterparts in the Western world, many of them invested in something. Most of the musicians that you have in the Western world, they have businesses. Some of them have
shoe line.
I know we keep on talking about shoe. I mean, there's so many things. They have shoe line, they have clothing lines,
and they have like a Starbucks,
cosmetic lines. They have so many. Perfume, many of them have businesses. But African musicians, we love you so much and we love your music. But please channel your money into good source. Once again, I mean, the public are looking at you, especially the young ones. They love musicians. So once you can even model good behavior to the young ones by what you do with your money. So you can't just get the money and then you're buying cars and throwing it all over the place again. Once again, you are not, I know many of you, the singers, when you listen to the lyrics of their music, it's very encouraging.
Yeah.
But let your behavior match the words of your song so that people can learn so much from you. So that's what we wanted to bring up, please. Our musicians, use your money wisely, build industries, and then once again, you will create employment for the youths. My dear friend.
My dear,
talk about the car collection.
You nailed it on the head. All I have to add up there, collecting cars do depreciate.
That's true.
With years. It's a liability. It's not an asset. So as you're struggling, I don't know how you started to become a musician. It wasn't an easy road. Once you have that breakthrough, as my friend put it, make sure you have something that will hold you, that you will rely on in case your voice is gone or you're tired of playing or you retire. Back home, most of us don't have a retirement plan. So when you invest in things like that industry, or you have your own clothing line, you have your shoe line, we like to buy from outside. We like to, because when they're doing even you will see them wear something that is made somewhere else, made in USA, made in this, and that badge will be there.
That's true.
Then you're looking at it's made by somebody, and they put the name of their own country. So let's start thinking a little bit broader than focusing only on one thing, because that money comes the way we either, or the way we manage it, we either make it stay or fly, because it have wings. So let's do whatever we have to do to create job for our fans. Some of our fans will like to work in our factories. Some of our fans, they don't want to be following you on whatever medium they're following you or clapping for you. I'm a fan too. So I don't mind coming to work in your own factory. But let's think about those people that don't have a job, those people that are still struggling. What can we do? It's not only to give them the money when we are doing things, when we are passing, we throw money and they pick it up. That's for that particular moment. What happens after that? So leave that legacy. Let your footprint be so broad so that people will see it. Whether you are still here or you are not here, then they will see that legacy. They will see your footprint, that it was a positive one, and then other people will try to match that your footprint. I know that we like to copy what others are doing. So once one person start that clothing line, anything you can do. You can open like I said, some of them here open a Starbucks. That's where people go and buy coffee or tea or buy a sandwich to eat. So that being said, let's start seeing all those things, because you will give employment, you create employment for people and feed more families than you thought you will feed in life. my dear.
Thank you so much, my friend. Actually, you know, when my friend was talking, I was thinking of these beautiful musicians from Africa that we love so much. And I was going to mention names, but I don't want to mention one person and then I forget another person because we love them so much. Because I was going to use one as an example, but I'll just throw out a name. Let's say Glory, which is my name. It's a very top musician. And then if you decide to, just like my friend said, have a clothing line that is called Glory. As a musician, people love you. They used to love you. Everybody will start buying those clothes. I'm wearing Glory's clothes. I'm wearing Glory's clothes. So that's what we're telling you. Channel it. If it is sneakers, Augustina sneakers. Maybe she's a top musician. Once again, we know the top musicians. But like we said, we don't want to pick names. And then the sneakers, everybody will be like, oh, I'm wearing Augustina.
And then you're creating job.
You're creating job. Because if you build a factory for those things, you will employ almost like at least 500 people.
Build more factories. When the money is coming, creating more jobs.
Yes. So please, our African musicians, we love you so much. Stop throwing the money, buying cars and collecting cars and collecting cars. When you're dead and gone, nobody will remember you for the Lamborghini that you drove.
The Lamborghini will broke down.
Exactly.
Because of poor maintenance.
Exactly. But if you build a factory, even your children, I know many of you have young children, and I see how you love your children. Even in the videos, you bring them out. I mean, so that when you're dead and gone, your children can even continue your legacy in terms of the factory or the company that you built. They will still benefit from it.
That's right. Another thing, if they take them along, instead of shielding them and sending them abroad.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So I think it's been a long topic. We're almost finishing. Let's talk about the houses. Actually, we talked about the cars. I mean, the musicians and all the rich people in Africa are doing the same thing in terms of houses. They build they collect houses. They build private houses in Ghana. They build it all over the place. But think of it this way. You're building estates all over, which is fine. Everybody's going into real estate. But there's no company. There's no factory. And then people are roaming the streets. So you just have that private house that you're sitting in. And they used to roam in the street. They don't have a place to walk. And then all of you are complaining. You have securities all over the place. But think of it, there's something that people usually say. I hope I will get it right, my friend. People say, do you go for the chicken first or for the egg? When you think of it. Because if you're copying from the Western world, they're building mansions. But look at their history. Go back a little bit. Many of them started building factories. They were making coats. They were making clothing. They were making shoes. They were making bags. They were making little things until almost 50, 60 years ago. Even in New York, they started with factory. Little from factory. I mean, some people went into agriculture. Some people went into factory. And little by little until they started building the mansions now. But it looks like Africans, we went to the mansion first and forget about the factory and things that need to create employment all around us. So that's why we're creating criminals, because they're looking at your mansion. Every day they walk around the street looking at your mansion. There's no place for them to walk. So please, once again, build what you can. I mean, a house that you and your family will live. A very simple house, which they usually do in the Western world. And then use the other money and build company, build things so that people will have job around you, and then you will be safe in your own house. That's why you hear about people robbing, killing, doing these things, and you're wondering, the Western world, how come they are not doing that? Because they built companies first, built industries before they started building mansions. Go ahead, my friend.
My dear, that's the truth, a simple truth you said. So if we can start with thinking, and building houses, I'm a fan of it. I want my own home. I want to stay with my own family in my own home. But the point, if you know that you have maybe 3 children and you and the wife, so why are you building
the cathedral?
10 bedrooms at a particular time? Who is going to be in the other ones? So because you want to show off, like we're saying, nobody is watching you. Tell you the truth. People do not care. It's only you that is bidding against yourself. So build what can accommodate you and your family. And then, like my friend said, take the money, invest it in something else. In case we're okay today, because we see people, accident happen every day. It's not only to benefit, we use the poor, we use to give employment. It could be the thing that will benefit you as time goes by, when you cannot be able to do what you used to do, because you might be okay today. We don't know about tomorrow, because people can have accident and they cannot get up, but the investment they made can be still feeding them and their family if you manage it well, if you do the proper investment. Because if you're still robbing Peter to pay Paul, if you are in the house or whatever, taking money that belongs to the local government to show your wealth, by then, if accident happen and you are no longer there, money will not be coming the way you think or the way you thought you will live forever. So let's manage what we have sensibly and have the heart, because once you are thinking about other people, maybe those who don't have as much as you have, you're thinking about them. It's not a waste, because that money will eventually come back to you in one way or the other. But let's build a house. Let it be a home for us. Let's not go all over the cities. Building one in Lagos. If you're a Nigerian, you build one in the village. You run back to the north, you build. You run over, try to rent sometimes. Sometimes you can rent and let your money benefit somebody else. So that at the end of the day, that land you bought over there should not be only for family home. Then you can use it as a factory, as an industry. You can use it for something, even farming, that can benefit other people, because the crops in your farm or the animals in your farm can be able to feed people, and then you already created employment, and then at the same time there'll be food for people to buy. That's my take there.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We're rounding up. And once again, when my friend was talking, what came to my mind is this, because when we talk about factory, I know you're building houses, but you could build factory that makes furnitures and things for your house, or even things that you need inside the house. You can build factories, even if you're moving around countries, moving around cities. Instead of building private houses, build a little bit of private house, you know, what you can afford, and then use the rest of the money that you have and build company, even if you're moving around. And the last part that I wanted to, area that I really want to touch is that I know most African countries have a rich people's club. Some countries call it Millonaires Club, others call it Tanzania's Club, others call it Billionaires Club. And we see these young men, we appreciate you people. You look good. Your cars, your houses, everything look good. But please, we just want to advise you. I know you have these clubs. Use those clubs. I mean, you can build clubs here. They usually build things in the Western world. So you members of your club, Billionaires Club, humbly, we're advising you to channel your wealth into creating employment for the youths. Even your members, you can collectively, like you are billionaires, you bought enough cars, but once again, build factories that can make furniture for your beautiful houses. Build industries that can make fabrics for your drapes. And then you can create employment for the youth. They will love you people. They will even say, even hospital, you could build, not even building new ones, because I know you'll be like, okay, the government needs to give you permission to do this. Go and look at the ones that are built already, that are in shambles. Your club, the Billionaire Club, you can go over there, renovate the hospital, paint it, equip it very well, and then even put a plaque with your name. And then they will say, oh no, the Billionaire Club, they came over here and they did this. So please channel it there. Do not waste the money. And then when you waste the money, you keep on running out to the Western world because you're afraid. There's a lot of criminals in Africa, things are happening in Africa. Because the Western area that you're running to, they channel their own money into different angle to be able to take the poor, the middle class, and the rich along. Not that everybody will be rich, but at least bring people up to a certain level.
That's right.
So that they don't have to rob you. They don't have to, destroy your property and everything. So that's what we're saying. We are very rich in Africa. Let's stop the West. My friend, round up.
My dear, you did so well. What I have to say about the club, you don't have to be a millionaire. I know there are some clubs meant for the youths where they go, both the male and the female. Some of them go there and they experiment drugs.
Okay.
That is being called over here, I think they call it a crystal meth. So this new one that is in vogue now, because poor people as we have it do not build all those clubs.
Okay.
It's people with money, so they go there and think in Igbo they call it what?
Mini. That's
So,
where we come from. Our viewers that don't understand the language, that's what they call it from the part of Nigeria that we're from.
In Imo State,
Yes,
in Igbo land,
exactly.
They call it
Mini.
and where we are, they call it I think it's crystal meth.
Crystal, exactly.
So
these are illegal drugs.
We're looking at it like if it's damaging people, if it's killing them. We are talking about building hospitals. We don't have a rehabilitation centers that is free. People that get addicted even in smoking any kind of illegal drugs or even a prescription drug can go there and get help for free. We don't have that kind of thing. So for somebody in Africa to give room for that,
yes,
you are damaging the youths again, the leaders of tomorrow. You are damaging them in the quest of making more money, building more clubs. People are looking at it as entertainment, but they are dying, and they have to rob people because they don't have a job. That means they have to go and rob people because they're already now an addict. They can't deal without that, and they come, you sell it to them. Now you have distributors all over the place. So let's keep our people alive. If you have such kind of money and you have benefited from selling drugs to all these children or these youth that don't have, even adults, even grown-ups, so please use that money and go and have a rehabilitation center somewhere, because you already put them where you want them to be. Now help them to get back up. Help them so they can be somebody to their own parents, so they can be somebody to their wife and children. So please, the billionaires, even the millionaires in the making, that you're trying to use your fellow human beings to make money, they're already done. Now please help them get up. Don't let your club be something that can put people down, and they will be sitting on the street begging for quarter or robbing people, and then they'll be beating them. They're not robbing to build a mansion, they're not robbing to bring the money so they can have that drug. My friend, I don't know if you heard about it.
Thank you so much. Actually, we were about to round up when my friend brought this. It's very, it's very touching to the heart. And what came to my mind is this. The rich people in Africa, especially the ones that are building clubs and places that people are going into prostitution, alcohol, drugs, and then crystal, those things that we just mentioned. Look at it this way. What you're doing is that you're grooming a young lion. And once you groom those lions, when they become big lions and they start eating people, everybody will start running. So let me bring it to the level that you will understand what I just said. What you're doing now, you are selling drugs, you're selling these things to young people. And when they become real criminals, even if you're old, they will attack your children.
That's right.
And that's why people have been fleeing most of the time, because what people created many years ago is haunting us now in Africa.
That's right.
So look at it. You're making your money. You're building, like I said, you're selling this crystal, you're doing this. But there's a difference between young people in Africa that are taking drugs and young people in the Western world. It's almost like when you have a dog. The dog is not eating. The dog is so angry already. And then you came and you put alcohol inside the dog. The dog will be super violent. So what you're doing, like I said, the dog will be super violent. What you're doing in Africa, and why you will see more crime, more kidnapping, more robbery when you're selling these drugs, because our society is different. One, you are demoralizing our society, number one. Two, you're bringing something that will even speed. Like I said, they are angry already because they're hungry. They are angry because they're unemployed. And then you're bringing this mini or crystal or the drug or cocaine or alcohol, everything that you're giving them, what you're doing is that you're making them even more violent. So you're creating a very bad environment. You could be dancing now at a club with your friends and everybody, but I know you have children, because I know Africans love to have families.
That's right.
You have your young ones. What you're doing, you are creating a very dangerous environment for your children, because the youths that you're destroying now and that you're making so angry will come to haunt your children later, because by then many of them will be very violent. So please, for the sake of God, and I'm going to use God's name because Africans love to talk about God. Many of you, even the ones that own the clubs, many of you are Christians. I have to let you know. On Sunday, you go to church. Look into the business that you're doing. Would you like your daughter to go into those clubs? Would you like your son to go into those clubs?
To be a customer.
So whatever you think you can dish out to your family, don't dish it out to the public.
To somebody else.
Those are people's children.
That's right.
That's how we're going to end this.
Okay.
We have money in Africa. Please channel it to the right source. Help the youths. Do not destroy them in the name of making money, because it will come to haunt you and haunt your family. My friend, I am done.
I think word is enough for the wise. We have dwelled a lot in trying to make our people, invest sensibly so that they can benefit everybody. It will benefit them at the long run. It will benefit their children. It will benefit their neighbors. Let me use the word neighbor. So it will benefit everybody, So please, let's pause a little bit and see what we are doing, if we can do a little more better. All right? God bless you.
Thank you so much. I know we started it little by little, and then you get into, the emotional aspect of it. It's because we love our people so much, and that's why we do this show. Well, even if we can't give our people money, let's give them wisdom. And that's what my friend and I are dishing out. Please think of what we have said. If you are in these areas, in terms of building things that we said you shouldn't build, or you have so much money that you're wasting, go to bed tonight. Think of what we just said and say, where can I channel my money? Once you pause and pray about it, God will give you great wisdom to know how you can channel your money so that it will benefit people around you. And life will be better for all of us.
That's right. We want to rebuild Africa.
Exactly.
We want to make it a better place.
That's true.
All right? So that everybody that's been out will come back.
Yes.
Let's work together.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So thank you so much for being our viewer today, and look forward to our other episodes at our Sweet Home Africa, where we bring out some of the challenges that we're facing in Africa and then offer simple advice that we believe will help our people and the government. So thank you once again for watching us
at our Sweet Home
Africa. And subscribe.
And thank you to our subscribers.
Yes.
So please, once you get this information, forward it to people on your own platform so that this word will spread.
Yes.
Because we want a better Africa.
Thank you. See you next week.
Thank you.